Have you felt frustrated, sad, unhappy, and generally feeling that wherever you get in your life, you're not really happy? The fulfillment doesn't really catch up with you, even though you have reached many milestones in your life. So then you should listen to this Rumi's poet where it says that listen from the reed and hear its a story. So what is a reed? Reed are these groups of plants when you cut them and you make them to a musical instrument now named flute. And generally speaking, when you listen to the flute, you see that the sound is a little bit sad. And what does it indicate? It indicates that you are being taken away from your reed bed and therefore being separated from your origin. That is the basic thing that when you're thinking about Rumi's spirituality, it's talking about the reed flute and the separation from the source. So that is the basic message, and that is something that you can really use to understand the source of a lot of your unhappiness and achieve happiness in your life. So what does Rumi say? Listen to the reed story, right? The assumption is that we all came from the same origin. We all are brothers and sisters, because by essence, no matter where you are from, you all have the soul that is identical, and this is the consciousness that we have, right? If we don't have any noise in our head, me and you sitting and observing something, we can objectively see it in the same way. But why we can't see the same thing the same way is because we attach a story to it. And the story that we attach to the things that we observe is the things that we make up, and it's not coming from our origin. It doesn't come deep down from a spiritual being, because these are egoic things, which you can call. So what is ego? Ego is all the thoughts that happen in our head, and most of these thoughts are random and not necessarily useful. So you can have thoughts that are useful when you are doing focused planning for your life. But a lot of times we are being taken over by noises in our head, by the conversation that we have in our head. So what are these noises and ego are trying to do? They say that we are trying to protect you. So basically ego wants you to be separated from others. And telling you the stories when you go out, you talk to your friends, or you're at work, or you have different challenging situation, your ego says you are separate from others, this can go bad, be careful, be unhappy, be stressed, the worst thing can happen, etc. Right? So this is our ego. This is when we think that we are not coming from the same source, when we don't recognize that all the human beings are taken away from the reed, and we are essentially the same, right? So the ego is trying to protect us, but in the same time, it makes us very, very sad and unhappy, because it keeps reminding of us that we need external things to be happy. We need to be better than others to be happy. We need to do this. We need to do that. It doesn't matter if we get success in this area. Be careful, because something bad is going to happen. And that is the ego. Whereas Rumi says that the only sadness that really matter is the feeling of sad because of separation from where you came from. Is the sadness that is associated to the love that you have for your essence. The love that you have from the whole spiritual beings. The love that you have for other human beings, not for their ego, but for who they are deep down. So would you think that, okay, so you're talking about being sad because of being spiritual, because you feel separated, so how is that better? Well, of course it is better. So imagine that you are in love with somebody and that person doesn't have ego, and this person is a part of your essence and your being. Right? You miss them because you are separated from them. But just by focusing on them and by thinking about them, you can get reconnection to them. You can actually go back. You can feel your body and your spirit with this togetherness, with this spirituality, if you have energy and willing to forget about all these things that your ego is telling you, but think about the fact that you came from a source. The source that is creator of everything else and everybody else. Focusing on that. And of course you're gonna, after a while, miss that. You will feel that, okay, so I came from somewhere and I'm a little bit sad that I'm not there. Of course, that doesn't happen immediately. I mean, if you start doing muraqabah or meditation, it takes you a while to get used to it. It takes you a while to feel that, having a quiet ego and not letting my worrying mind just go around and make me sad. If you don't do that, you're gonna be a little bit confused and maybe a little bit negative in the beginning. But it doesn't take time until you are able to control this noise in your head that is telling you that things are going to go bad. And if the things are bad, they are horrible. And the things that are going to happen in the future, they are going to be disastrous. That's what our ego is telling us. But what can we do instead? Instead, just recognizing that we all came from the source. We are enough. We have enough by our standards, and because, me and you are the same essentially in essence. We are exactly the same in our essence because the spirit of me and you came from the same place as the reed flute came. Right? And you see sometimes how powerful that can be. That you don't feel that you are different to others. But of course, this is not what many people experience. What we experience, a lot of us experience, is that I'm different to you. I have to compete with you. And if I don't, I'm a loser, because if you have more than I do, then I'm worse off. And also, you may go to this other dimension of thinking that depending on how much more I have, as compared to you, or you have as compared to me, one of us is better or worse, right? And of course, this is a part of ego. I don't want to really say, you don't have to really criticize this part of you. This part is trying to protect you, but you can use it and empower it by trying to get things in your life that not only help you, but also help others. And psychologists have found out that the thing that really makes us happy are the things that we can achieve by being able to contribute to other people's lives. So you may see a lot of people who are very successful in their life, but very sad and miserable, because they may not be focusing on how they can contribute to other people's life, and why the contribution to other people's life can be so fulfilling. Because we subconsciously realize when we do that, when we contribute to others, we subconsciously realize that we all are coming from the same place. We all are having the same essence, and that is extremely important. That makes us connected to the spiritual source. Imagine emptying your mind focusing on where we came from, to the spiritual source, and imagining that this is giving us energy. And we need nothing else in order to be happy and be fulfilled. And it doesn't mean that you shouldn't go out and work hard and produce things. No, it doesn't mean that. It means the background noise that we have in our head all the time telling us negative stories are going to be replaced by this quiet sound and focus that we have on where we came from and where we are going to. So you probably notice when you are working, there is a background noise that's happening in your head telling you negative stories, or maybe sometimes positive, right? You always have that while you are working, while you are doing things. You are at your work, you want to do this task, then you want to go take some water or drink a tea or something. What happens when you are walking from your desk to where the water is? You probably are worrying and wondering and having random thoughts. So imagine replacing this worrying and random thoughts with a focus on the fact that you came from the same place as everybody else, and the best fulfillment in your life is going to be able to contribute to other people's lives. Have this as the base of whatever else is happening in your life. It doesn't mean that you don't have to work hard, but it means that you will not have time to think about useless, negative thoughts, imaginations, etc. So when Rumi says that I am the reed flute, means that you could potentially be the same if you manage to realize where you came from. The flute is an instrument that is empty, and by somebody blowing into it, it makes a vibration and noise. We essentially are the same. We are nothing when there is no consciousness. We can own $1 billion, but when there is no consciousness in this body or in this flute, it's nothing. It's the same as the flute. And the flute can make the noise when what blows in it is the love of the same source, if the love of us toward where we came from. So the message of this story of the Rumi, which says, listen to the reed flute and how it tells you the story of being separated from where it came from. It talks about all of us that are separated from where we came from, and sometimes we confuse our longing of separation from our origin with all these random other things that we think we need in our life to be happy. So if I want to suggest something to you that can be very, very useful, is that I would suggest that for 5 minutes a day, in fact, you can do it right after this video. Just take 5 minutes, use your clock or something that shows you that this is 5 minutes, so you don't think that, oh my God, that at the start of meditation you freak out and want to stop it. In order not to freak out and to stop it, ask yourself, do you have 5 minutes? Just allocate 5 minutes to this meditation that I'm going to suggest to you. It's a little bit different than meditation that is focusing only on quieting your mind, because this meditation also needs a bit of focus, which I think is extremely beautiful addition to the meditation. And in Persian, the language that Rumi have written, this is called muraqabah. A little bit different than Western meditation, because not only you empty your mind from all the noises, but also you focus your attention on where you came from, and if you practice that, after a while you can feel the love that you have inside you for your origin or spiritual being. And that really would help you to shine and be happy, be relaxed, and know you have everything that you needed, because you are in one, the essence of the entire universe. So do this exercise. Take 5 minutes. Put your clock in the 5 minutes, so you know that at the 5 minutes this is going to ring and you're gonna go do other things that you are stressed about. Just 5 minutes. Close your eyes and focus all your attention on where you came from. Focus on the creator that created you, and everybody else, and the whole universe. Just focus on that. Focus all of your attention on it. That means also, when you focus on this thing, all other noises and useful thoughts and egoic thoughts are also going away by themselves. Right? Do this focus for just 5 minutes. And when the clock rings after 5 minutes, you can stop it and see this gradual transformation that's going to happen as a result of you being in touch with your essence, with who you are originally, and not worrying about this ego and all these thoughts that we have in our head that is actually also similar to other people's thoughts. If our ego is telling us that we have to be better than others, other people's ego also says the same thing, that they have to be better than us. Right? But that is not something that we want to be connected to. We want to be connected to where we came from. We want to be connected to our spirit. So I suggest to you that you do this exercise if you can after this video. If you feel safe and you're doing nothing that's dangerous, for example, you're not driving or anything, I suggest that you do that, and you will see the magnificent impact that it's going to have in you and in your life today and over time. Thanks very much for listening, and I look forward to talking to you soon in the future.